all the way back, baby.
Yeah, and if we say book your hotel, you book your hotel. But my lord, I have soiled myself.
And now, another episode of The Way We HNC It. Gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Way We HNC It. It is an absolute pleasure to be back with you once again as we discuss all of the goings on in the flag football world. It has been quite the fortnight since we were last with you, and we've had international tournaments. We had a massive NFFL game day 6 or 7, depending on which division you play in, and of course, there is a lot still to come, both at home and abroad. My name is Bez. It is my pleasure to be back with you, and I am joined, of course, by my host and good friend, Cammy Wilson. Cammy, welcome back to the show. How are you getting on? I'm very well. Despite the fact that it feels like a long time since I played any football, we do have an awful lot to discuss.
We picked to take a week off at the wrong time. C'est la vie.
Yes, some may say that yes, we picked the wrong time, but really it just makes for a packed show. So welcome to our podcast audience listening throughout the week, and of course, welcome to our YouTube audience with us as well. Hit us up in the chat if you want to say anything or ask any questions. We will do our best to get to them as and when we can, as Cammy laughs at the new technology and the new button that I've learned to press.
I did not know that was...
So yes, it's all good in the hood, and I guess we will move very quickly to the news. Greg with the news.
Surprise, surprise, there's no Greg. But we've got the news, so it's fine.
We do indeed have the news, and Cammy, let's give you a fright. What is top of the agenda today?
The GB Women's Flag Programme.
Let's start far away. The Women's GB Flag Football Programme have had a busy fortnight with the Silver Lionesses competing at Capital Bowl, which looks like an absolute vibe, by the way.
I've actually spoken to quite a few people about this. We're asking my opinion on it, and I think this is the second official year, but I think it's actually been running for 3 years and they changed name and whatnot. But this year looked, despite the weather, looked incredible.
It really did, yeah. It was very wet, but some of the photographs of the rain are amazing. And playing in the rain looks so sick. It looks so pro. Obviously, the French scene is exploding rapidly. Yeah, just looks amazing. The standard seemed very, very high on both sides of the draw. And
it's grown a lot as well. Participant-wise, there was some Spanish teams, there was German teams, there was Dutch teams, there was mixed teams, there was British teams, there was a whole load going in, which is good. We love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if its growth continues, I'm sure it certainly looks like it's going to become one of those kind of premier tournaments that we speak about on the continent, with your Big Bowl, your King Bowl, Copenhagen Bowl, obviously, and then now it looks like we're maybe adding Capital Bowl potentially into that mix.
Yeah. It's a good time as well. It doesn't really clash with anything. It just sits nicely by itself, which we love.
It does sit nicely by itself. Yeah, so under the guise of the Silver Lionesses, we had the GB Women's Flag Programme over there, taking part, doing their thing, and they had a pretty good run to the semi-finals, and then obviously the bronze medal match playoff,
Yeah.
whatever we call it. Came away 4th from that tournament, which we love to see.
Right on, like, this is the first revival of the silver lines in the women's program that I've seen in since King Bowl pre-COVID. I'm pretty sure. I think I might be wrong on that, but
They have been around to a couple since, but the women's team have been around to a couple more since. But like you say, like it's the first time I've certainly had them in the guys, like, named as
yeah,
something like the Silver Lionesses, and I love that we're kind of digging in on that, piggybacking on that brand, kind of, as it were, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We did. Obviously, we were using Turnify to kind of follow along with all the good stuff that they were getting up to out there. In the groups, three good wins, and then obviously ran into the powerhouse of the Red Lips that we've seen winning medals in just about all of the major tournaments that we've discussed for a while. So themselves, the Domzali Tigers, for example, are another team that when you see them in a tournament list, you're a bit like, oh,
ears perk up and you're like,
something good's about to happen. Got them, moved on, and then in the quarterfinals, had another good win in the quarterfinals to move on to the semis, and then obviously knocked out at the semi-final stage. But I guess as a development program, you want the players to be played on those big stages in those big tournaments. Capital Bowl obviously identified as a spot that we think will get competitive matches.
Quite a fresh batch of players coming through as well. So coming fourth in this cycle, so to speak, is incredible for them.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely quite a, I guess, maybe like a younger squad than potentially we've seen before. Like a lot of names on that list getting their not their first caps, but they're kind of going through that first dozen, first 5 or 6 tournament caps, playing these international matches. So that's cool, and obviously it just shows that the depth of the program is expanding rapidly, because just 1 week later on, an entirely different group of players this weekend flew over to the Leominster in Massachusetts, just outside Boston, and I think had one of the most successful non-European Championship weekends that we've seen from them in a while.
Yeah, great to see the women's flag program going out and doing different things, not just your standard Big Bowl, King Bowl, Pink Bowl, whatever. Actually going out and getting experience against completely unknown teams, which is what they're going to need to do to get prepped for World Games, Euros, etc.
100%, and obviously the opportunity there presented itself. So I mean, and I think everyone would agree, if you have that opportunity, and take it. So they were over, practice on Thursday, practiced on Friday, tournament on Saturday, win the tournament, practice in the evening on Sunday, another tournament, and that
Fairly packed weekend.
Win that, and then get ready to come back home on today, I guess, and hopefully, I think everyone should be home safe now. At least it was traveling. At least it was traveling earlier in the week, so hopefully their flights and journeys were all easy, and welcome home to all of them. We the next thing on the list, I guess, 30 days today will be the kickoff in Chengdu at the World Games, and very excited.
Glad you remembered where it was, because
to see. Very excited to see that. So on day one, unfortunately, as we had expected, and we will be talking about Chengdu an awful lot in the build-up, so we're not going to do our full World Games preview just now. The kickoff. So the first round of games on the Thursday morning will kick off at 2 a.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. in Chengdu. GB are in action versus what we assume will be Italy. The World Games website still says Spain, but obviously we have covered previously that the Spanish women will not be traveling. Italy were their replacements, so assuming that won't affect the schedule, on the Thursday morning at 11:30 in Chengdu, which is 4:30 in the morning here. GB will play Italy, and that's their only game of the day. On the Friday, this is where things get interesting. They will play Japan in a rematch of that World Championships game from last year. They will play that game at 2 a.m., which is tough for us.
What? Worth getting up for that game.
However, definitely worth getting up for, and I'm assuming those that work regular jobs will be up. 8:40 on Friday is the big one, so 8:40 our time. Great Britain will take on Mexico. So we are
another massive game.
We are obviously hoping that game, we'll be able to cover it. We'll follow it live. If there's a live stream, we'll make sure that everyone has it and that's able to watch. I don't know, maybe like your phone on your desk or whatever. If you're book an important meeting first thing that Friday morning in your calendar so that you can, if you're in the office, maybe you can find a cupboard and sit and watch it.
We'll get a full list of times, dates of when our gals are playing over there.
Yes. And there has already been a discussion with some members of the community about who will be operating the late shift, so that if you do miss out, we will try and be bringing you the morning wrap up and with everything that's happened in Chengdu overnight. For those of you that obviously can't get up at 2:30 and 4:30 in the morning to watch flag football, we will do our absolute level best to make sure that you are covered. So yeah, and then after that on Saturday will be the knockout phase, or the final ranking phase, and we'll see how that goes. And the timings on that one obviously will depend on
to be confirmed,
how well everybody does on day one. But 2 groups of 4, and then everyone will be ranked 1 to 8, and then I'm pretty sure it's just a straight 1 plays 8 the whole way through. So everyone is guaranteed a knockout game. And yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes from there. Obviously, I think it's the final 4 that earn prize points towards IFAF World Rankings. So you do need to make it the final 4 before you kind of get anything that would impact that. And then beyond that, we will get into the games that will very much have points on the line. And that'll be Euro Flag coming in September.
It's all so soon.
It's all so soon.
There's one NFFL game day left, then there's finals, then there's
Euro Flag, and yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. The other kind of fun thing today, exactly as it's 30 days to World Games.
Yeah,
3 years today. To the exact day, 3 years today. Olympic opening ceremony would have been last night, and LA 2028 flag football tournament will kick off exactly 3 years today on the 15th of July 28. So countdown is on. I'm not sure Instagram timers go that far ahead, but the countdown is on, or if there will still be an Instagram in that long, but we'll see. Probably will. You will not have me on TikTok, but we'll see. I'm too old. But yeah, that is, I guess, what's going on with
the women's flag
program, which is
staying on topic of women's flag. We do have Claddagh Bowl over in the Emerald Isles.
Yes, and what a season it's been.
It's been quite a quick season, it feels, but yeah. Women's finals is when, Bez?
Saturday.
Yes, there will be. We believe there's going to be a stream. There definitely will be a stream for the final. We're hoping the whole day is going to be streamed, which we will share probably on Friday once we get the link sent to us.
Yeah, it's normally done. Yeah, it might even be Saturday morning.
Yeah. We'll post it whenever it's there.
But when we have it, we'll post it.
But yeah, quarterfinals. So you've got your first round bye for the Panthers and the Trojans, who are sitting 1 and 2 seed. And then in the quarterfinals, we have UCD versus the Vipers and the Red Bows versus the Mavericks. So whoever progresses through, the lowest seed will play the Panthers, who are sitting top, and the second lowest will play the Trojans, and then go into a final from there. 16 knockout.
Yeah, and tight. Like it's
been like Panthers have kind of ran away with this in previous years.
So Panthers, last year Claddagh Bowl number 1 was a little bit different. It was kind of tournaments that teams were entering, and you could actually just enter unseeded on finals day because the scene was still kind of growing. This year, 8 teams the whole way through, 7 games each, like spot on. Panthers have scored an ungodly amount of points. They are still yet to lose a Claddagh Bowl game as the defending champions, undefeated last year, undefeated this year so far. Only Trojans in second place. Only team that they lost to was the aforementioned Panthers. However, as you witnessed at Celtic Bowl, they have beaten the Panthers
Insane game.
in an insane game outside of the league. That's very cool. UCD and Red Bows tied. They're both 4-3, so it was a coin toss. Well, it was a tiebreaker, obviously, to put UCD ahead of the Red Bows, and then the Mavericks in 5th and the Vipers in 6th. But yeah, it's going to be very good. There is a clear gulf on record and points scored and all that kind of thing above, between the top 2 and the following 4. Also in the league were the Dragons and the Knights, and they did not quite qualify. But yeah, we look forward to seeing them back again next year. But what is, I don't want to go ahead and just like discount everybody else, right? But Panthers Trojans is what we want, right? Like as from viewers from abroad with no skin in the game.
Yeah.
This rivalry is growing and growing, and I haven't been able to watch the game live as you did at Celtic Bowl.
Like that.
But I will be interested in reviewing the footage from Ireland, if that is, well, regardless of what the final is, but particularly if that is the final. I might try and I might make graphics for every outcome, and then you can just post them until I've seen the footage, because I might not want to. I don't know.
Yeah, the Celtic Bowl game I was on Panthers sideline just because that's where HNC camp was set up, and the atmosphere was just wild. Like, it was a very back and forth game, and then obviously Trojans won, but like the Trojans, when they won, like that, it's something I've not seen in a while. Just a sideline goal that wild. Like, it was great, loved it. And then obviously trophy presentations and stuff, brilliant. But I don't think the Panthers would have let that go lightly. So I expect a lot in this final. For sure. And so the final, the Trojans Panthers result, it was a 1-score game, 13 Trojans, 20 to the Panthers. So 1-score game. Would hope for a tight one again, should it come to that. What is mind-boggling to me is the top 2 have positive points differences of 209 and 83 each. The Red Bows in 4th have a positive points difference of 25, and everyone else is in the negatives, which just shows you like the raw offensive power of the top 2. Yeah.
And it will be interesting to see particularly what the semi-final matchups are. Like we speak about it all the time, like teams that have buys often come in a little bit cold.
Slower.
It can obviously always be like a little bit, the first half particularly can be a little bit ropey when you have a team that's already played a game, already won a game, has the tails up a bit, and then they come into a team that, like, particularly in this case, I'm guessing, and certainly games I've been in before, there's no pressure. We've won a game. We're not expected to win this one. Just have a bash at it, like be aggressive, have a go. And if you start cold as the kind of team that's expected to win, you can kind of get caught out. So I feel like the Panthers and the Trojans have kind of been around the block enough, and have certainly, traveled. A lot of them have traveled abroad now and played in other tournaments that I feel like they'll be pretty good. They'll be pretty confident that they can just kind of do their thing. But
a lot of both the Panthers and the Trojans are in the Wolfhounds. The Panthers last year went to Flagpalooza. The flag scene in Ireland in the past 2 years has just exploded. And yeah, it's great to see that the women's isn't being left behind. Like, it's coming along with it as well.
I think it's like when and it's partly based off the Euros, right? Like off the back of the Euros. And I think there was definitely some eyebrows raised, like when it was Ireland were given the hosting job. But like, what a legacy is left? Like immediate, there was no women's league. Now there's a women's league. Like, you've got more Irish teams. We're going to come on to a little segment in a minute about something that they're entering, but like, they're now all over the place. I don't think there's a tournament in Europe that either the Tigers or the Crack Addicts haven't been to yet.
Exactly. Like, this year alone, so you've got Dunboyne Wildcats came over for Flag and New Year. Crack Addicts were at Iron Man. Crack Addicts were at King Bowl. Celtic Tigers were at Big Bowl. They're just back from Celtic Bowl.
Copenhagen.
They went to Adria Bowl. Like, the list is endless. How Finn Cairns' bank account is still in the positive is beyond me.
Yeah, there's some serious questions being asked.
But yeah, like, hats off to them. I love to see how it's grown and how all the players have grown as well and how they came into the community.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, and also, like, just thinking back to Flag and Year last year, like, we had for that weekend there was a suspiciously named town in Murray that they all sounded very Irish for that weekend as well. Like, there's players traveling from all over the place.
Shakes over at Flag and Year.
Shamrock Shakes as well. Yeah, like, so there's a lot of players making the trip, which is ace. So yeah, keep an eye out for how that goes over the weekend. We're obviously very, very excited. And yeah, like, long live Irish Flag. So yes, any more news? One very good bit of news. Coach of the year, Flag Coach of the Year. Awards, BAFTA coaching awards were given out at the BAFCA convention. So yes, coaches from all over BAFA, and yes, congratulations from all of us. Congratulations from, I'm sure, the entire community to Jake, who is for those of you that have never met him and don't know him, is coach of the national champion Coventry Panthers women's flag team. And he was named Coach of the Year at the BAFCA conference. So massive congratulations to him. Yes, it's not very often that we see that kind of individual honour. So yeah, congratulations to him. And obviously, once again, congratulations to that team and that club on what was an absolutely superb season. And while we are continuing on the women's flag at the theme to start the show, there have been a couple of requests come in asking me if I know anything about when registration will open again for the WFFL later in the year. My understanding is it'll be probably next month, but don't quote me on that. That's just like my kind of gut feeling based off of conversations. I have tapped up some sources, but I've not quite heard back yet. So if I do hear back,
once the final National Flag Football League game day has been played, once finals is solidified, then focus can kind of turn to setting up women's later in the year.
I would think kind of August, when there's no mixed leagues going on, will be the time. But one final bit. Cammy's off. I'm gonna have to keep talking now because primarily we're a podcast, and this is
a medal.
You got a medal? What did you get a medal for? Oh, of course.
A medal for refereeing the Dutch National Football League flag final.
Of course, that happened since the last time we were on a show. You ended up, honestly,
flag football is massive.
Gemma has not divorced you.
Oh.
You took her on holiday to Amsterdam and then left her so that you could referee a flag football game.
I left her to go watch flag and somehow got roped into refereeing. But yeah, I was sitting. I literally just landed in Amsterdam. Posted a story up saying I was there, and some of the Amsterdam Panthers messaged me saying flag finals is this weekend, you fancy popping along? So I went down to see them. I got to see some friends from Flag and New Year, people that I've known for a while. And yeah, it was brought the Scottish weather with me. It was torrential rain the whole day. But yeah, great day. It was only a 4-team knockout. So you had the Amsterdam Panthers second team, who actually were the number 1 seed. And I'm just assuming this. They played Monkey with Attitude, who were the 4th seed, and then Amsterdam Panthers 1, who played the Favel Phantoms, who were 3rd seed. And then the Monkeys with Attitude went on a massive run. Their main man, Leroy, who actually started playing football, well, not started playing football, but did play football for Stirling Klansmen concept.
Way back, so, nice.
Yeah, he was one of my first ever football coaches. It was great to see him turn up and turn out, and I'm sure the wet weather probably favoured him because he'd spent so much time over here.
Reminded him of Stirling. But yeah, that's a cool little experience for you. Yeah, Nice.
Congratulations to the Monkeys with Attitude for winning back-to-back national finals. Well done to them.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, okay. I think that
That is the
means
news.
that's the news, but there is still one important
Announcement.
corner of the show that
Corner?
we should go to.
Pillar? Corner? What's the
Let's
corner,
go to the
Bess?
corner. SCOFF Corner. SCOFF
SCOFF
Corner.
Corner.
It's time to go to SCOFF Corner because we have things to say.
Flag and New Year sold out their UK spots in 2 minutes, which is
2 minutes.
mental.
Mental. Thank you so much for the support, basically, for this tournament. I genuinely couldn't believe it when I got the message back saying, like, we don't need to, stop. UK slots sold out in under 2 minutes, and we are moving on to almost having sold out with the international spots as well. When I spoke to Youngie, kind of the tail end of last week, there was 4. I do know of a couple of teams that were kind of about to pull the trigger on the entry. So yeah, if you are looking to enter as a non kind of UK team, there's still space. If you are a UK team that didn't quite make it, if you hit the Ticket Tailor link, which we'll post through the week, there is a waiting list available, or just search SCOFF Ticket Tailor, it'll come up. So you can add your name to the waiting list for your team if you didn't make it. And yeah, I guess as we get closer, there'll be a shout for anyone that needs a team or whatever. Or you can use Cammy's Facebook group. Plug.
May know a guy that could hook you up with something.
So yeah, what is it? UK and Europe.
UK and EU flag football pickup group on Facebook.
Yes. Trips off the tongue, just super easy. Like no worries trying to find it. Specifically EU only, plus the UK. If you're teamless and would like to find a team, that's a pretty good place to start. Or if you are a team and you need some mercenaries for the weekend, also a very good place to go.
If you can't find it on Facebook, drop me a DM.
Drop us a DM, and we'll get you the tongue twister group for you to join. Yeah, smashing. And then also on
the horizon,
on Monday, the return of the UK's toughest tournament, Flagging Ironman, will open. I expect that to also go very quickly. So have your fastest fingers ready at 12 noon on the 21st, because you'll need to be
definitely not the day that we didn't post
in order to get in. I got confused between my 14ths, but just remember, if you do enter, you will then have some explaining to do to your other halves, as it is on Valentine's Day. Bang on. So 14th of February next year, the most romantic place in the world is Motherwell, as we head to the UK's loveliest tournament and compete for bits of metal. So yeah, that is going to be where we're at.
The disclaimer for that is, if you are interested and you want to come up and you want to play, find a team now, because the amount of people that I had messaging me in a silly UK and EU pickup flag football group asking for spots in this is wild. They go quickly, the teams enter fast, and usually they are already full when they enter. So if you want to play, find someone that can enter your team, or enter your own team.
Yeah, it is. Those spots are like absolute gold dust for Ironman. It's a brilliant tournament. I am on the record saying that it is my favourite tournament. And it is of course the date of the hatching with Rex's Minute Runners. So we are excited to head back. So I'll have my fast fingers prepared on Monday lunchtime.
Beautiful.
While we're talking about tournaments, we do have a couple more.
Yes, Copenhagen Bowl, they are opening their books for next year quite soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Another powerhouse tournament in Europe, which does go quickly. Do we have a date for when that's going? I don't think we do.
So format, rules, and all that kind of stuff. When it's taking place?
It's next May. It's the third weekend in May.
Yeah. So opening will be in the autumn, but over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be more details about like format and all the other stuff, all the great stuff that they do over there, and number of entries and how it's all going to work. So they're going to keep pumping out information and content. So keep an eye over on their Instagram page. It is literally at Copenhagen Bowl, and you'll spot them. But yeah, another one of those premier European tournaments reopening.
Still one that I need to get off my bucket list.
I have not done that one either. I do love Copenhagen.
It's on my birth. It's always on my birthday weekend.
There was a little while. Was it last year or the year before, where Copenhagen Bowl coincided with the Copenhagen Coffee Festival, and I was just like,
oh my god!
If there was ever a weekend for the Laddie boys to travel,
yeah,
it would have been that one. I think it may have been last year, because it was the 2 weeks before the wedding, and I was like, you can't, like, if you go over there and like break a leg or something, like, that's it forever. So yeah, that's potentially, maybe another time. But
a
very
bit closer
cool.
to home, we have Panther Bowl, which still have spots open, which you can DM them to inquire about. They have an inquiry form still open, so get on to the Coventry Panthers to see if you can join that. I might actually cash in a bus ticket to go down to. We're not sure yet; it's not confirmed, but we'll see.
The bus ticket.
The bus
Well,
ticket.
I mean, you got a bus ticket. You got on the Panthers bus, and the Panthers bus is coming. So you better make sure that you get on it.
And then, not too far afield from then, Flagpalooza draw we done last week, which, in a weird turn of events, friends of the show actually going to now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Me and my, I'm going to say northern UK ringers. We've actually got a lot of people coming. We've got some German friends. We've even got a Russian coming over.
Gang of reprobates.
We'll be heading down to Cheltenham in the second weekend in August. God, that is soon. To be part of Flagpalooza. If anybody's there interested, come say hi. It'd be lovely to meet you all. Yeah, obviously that's all sold out and the draw's done and everything's kind of finalised for that. So we just need to get the actual tournament done.
Yeah, and there are some great groups. So yeah.
The day itself is all kind of like but the weekend itself is all kind of planned out already. So Friday night there's going to be a welcome party. If you get down nice and early, you get some free beer, some pizza, and some magnets. There's lovely Flagpalooza magnets, which Ben just sent me a photo of earlier, which are quite fridge magnets. On the actual day of the tournament, kickoff is going to be at 9 o'clock on Saturday. That's when the first games kick off. However, venue will be open from 7 a.m. Cheltenham, yeah, I know. The clubhouse is going to be held where it was last year. We are not related to the Cheltenham Sevens anymore, but it's where the Cheltenham Sevens was held last year. The rugby clubhouse there is going to be putting on teas and coffees and breakfasts, and more interestingly, pints. So friends and family will be welcome to the bar there all day, and obviously there'll be the food trucks that are there. Saturday night we've got a party in the middle of Cheltenham. I'm not actually sure of the venue. I should probably know it because I also help run the tournament, but I don't. Where there's going to be a raffle, and you could win yourself some the WHNC merch. Interested? And then kick back off on Sunday at 9 o'clock, and should hopefully finish up by 5 o'clock on Sunday.
If it's anything like last year, and we'll just plug it now because we can, as you mentioned, merch. Bucket hats, sun hats are available on the store. As far as I know, only one person has ever bought one of the full kind of wide brimmed sun hat things. And it's a vibe. So if you are,
you will need it.
If you
there
are,
was a referee that got sunstroke last year and couldn't take part on the Sunday. So
yeah, exactly. Exactly. On that note, while it is a good laugh, please make sure that you are all
stay
looking after yourself.
Put sun cream on.
Especially the kind of the way it's been the last weekend. If it's like that in August, then it's going to be roasty toasty. So, friends of the show will be dropping into Group A.
Yes, we have
Many
Wolves.
Only Flags, Bucks Wolves, Dutch Mambas, Exeter Falcons, and the Cardiff Bay Coyotes. I think Cardiff Bay were not psyched about their group, judging by their Instagram immediately after. But hey, we'll be friends of the show afterwards. Yeah, it'll be everyone's a friend of the show after that, so it's all good. In Group B, Silver Lions, Flag and Ball Z, Flaggetti Hoops, great name, Coventry Phoenix, the Water Warriors, and the Jokers. Over in Group C, the Reading Devils, the Cardiff Storm, the Norwich Nomads, the Nuremberg Renegades, GB Under-21 Silver Lions, and the Nottingham Honey Badgers. While in Group D, I have lost it. It's Bold City College, who I'm so excited to see them back. Mountain Goat State, the Swansea Hammerheads, the London Rebels, Cheltenham Neptunes, and the Dunboyne Wildcats. Very interested to see Wildcats versus Bold City, like because they would have seen each other before, so I'm all in on that. And then on the women's side, we've got Furies, Show Us Your TDs, East Kilbride Pirates, the Black Widows, and Flag and Ball Z. So promising to be a very good tournament. Women's bracket is the Sunday.
Yes, just the Sunday for the women's bracket.
Just the Sunday for the women's bracket. So yeah, good luck to everyone. We'll catch you there. Yeah, obviously we'll have the squad in attendance, so we'll be covering the weekend as much as we can. For those of you that can't make it, we'll try and make it like you are.
Won't be streamed this year, sadly. We did have a stream of the final last year, and we're hoping to maybe get the final streamed. We did have some stuff set up to get the whole weekend streamed, but unfortunately it all fell through.
It fell through in the end, yeah.
But yes, we'll try and keep you updated as much as possible on the actual weekend. But yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And yeah, that I think is this week on Tournament Watch.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. The good people of the way we HNC it have toiled through this episode for 39 minutes and 58 seconds. It is now time to discuss the National Flag Football League. We are going to go through. We're going to take a quick look back at the final weekend the penultimate weekend of play that's just been.
Final cross-conference
weekend, where lots of the kaleidoscope of playoff positioning started to click into place. I have done some of the playoff scenarios, but not all of them. It is not exhaustive, and mostly for the Premiership. And I say that with the complete honesty that doing it for Div 1 scares me a bit because there's 54 teams and they all impact each other, and I just have not managed to bring myself to do it yet. However, next week, ahead of the games, we'll do the usual blog, which will contain the highest point that that your team can get to, who they're playing, and the kind of as many as we can work out what needs to happen. Today is not it. Today is like phase 1 of working out how it is all going to go together. For our YouTube audience, if you have a question about your team, you can drop it in the chat and I will do my best to reply live based off of what I think your team needs to do. If I need to caveat that, then I will. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to be with us live,
lucky's a strong word.
Involved. Lucky is a strong word, but yeah, I know you're there, so feel free to get involved if you like. So, Cammy, where would you like to start across the National Flag Football League?
I think we'll start with the biggest news of that weekend, and one of the seeded final teams had to forfeit. The Northern Titans had to forfeit a game day, which blew everything.
Yes. So, unfortunately, the Titans were unable to field a team. Unfortunately, so the way that works is they are not removed from the league or anything. They're not removed from play. It just means that they will be unable to qualify. So as it stands, they are still in with a mathematical chance that they could make the top 12. However, they cannot. So if they do, they will be bumped down, and the team that is 13th will move a spot up. In order to make up the 12. But they are still eligible to play the final weekend of the year. And that obviously means that they can still have an impact on what is a absolutely delicious Southern Premier kind of playoff picture at the moment. So interesting to see how things shape up from them. And yeah, what a game day.
Besides that, though, like we'll start in the north because the north was slightly less dramatic. It kind of went as we'd mostly expect. So Hornets clean sweep. We took the Crows, and what was a brilliant game. It was a really fun game. Besides that, everything kind of went as almost expected, going by seedings in Wigan. However, in Newcastle, the Titans drove across the other side of the country and decided to beat the Outlaws and Aberdeen.
Yes.
Which threw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, so that makes it that. So right, okay, yes. So basically, if you can cast your mind back, we had a fantastic kind of what's going to happen, because Aberdeen had beaten the Crows, Grangemouth had beaten the Titans. If the Grangemouth were a game and a half back on Aberdeen. Those two teams still have to play each other. So if one can outdo the other, then awesome. Then that kind of, because the difference between being third and fourth and the HNC is going to be pretty significant on finals day, and especially with the new, one plays four and two plays three and all that kind of stuff, you're talking about and potentially avoiding someone like the Reading Devils, for example, in the first round. Granted, you would, I think, end up with Cheltenham, so it's still a tough egg to crack, but that's not that phrase, but tough nut to crack, but still, it's a lower seeded team.
Yeah,
for now.
You'd rather not play one of the top four from last year.
Yeah, if you can avoid it, why not? However, little did we know what the Reading were going to do to throw a spanner into that particular works later on in the day as well.
Yes. When we
get to there. Manchester Titans, big win over Edinburgh to start the day. Backed it up later on with a big win over the Titans and over Oilcats, sorry. And to be clear, when we say big win, we mean like big in terms of standings, because those two wins, I think they combined for 9 points margin of victory over those two teams. So they weren't blowouts by any stretch. They both seemed like very, very good games. But yeah, two big wins, two big W's in the win column for the Titans. And that keeps them in the driving seat for their division. Yeah, and Oilcats and Grangemouth, pretty much as you were. 8-5-1 plays 8-4-1. Sorry, plays 9-5. So yeah, those two are going to come down to the final game day, where we'll find out kind of how that's going to play out for them. And then. Yeah, even in the north, there's obviously a big gap between the Titans, Crows, and then the chasing pack, the Blackhawks and the Scorpions. Yeah, Titans 11-2, Crows 10-3. They play each other on final day. Crows win.
What's the difference of the first game?
Well, Crows won the first game, so if they win, they'll have the double tiebreaker. So the points difference and stuff's irrelevant, because they'll have both head-to-heads. Titans, if they win, it'll be a 2-game cushion on the final day, so again, unlikely
fair enough.
To matter. If it did come down to it, then yeah, the points difference by that point would be kind of all over the place. At the moment, they are separated by just 5 points. But what the head-to-head thing is actually what would really matter. They played each other in week 2, I think.
Yeah, that was the game. Their points difference in that game was what I was chipping at.
Oh, come on, Bez, find it. Or maybe they didn't.
I remember it being close.
It was close. 2 points. 2 points to the Crows.
Yeah.
25-27. So yeah. Titans by 3 would swing the head-to-head to them, but again, head-to-head wouldn't really matter because they'll be 2 points clear by that point. 2 games clear by that point, sorry. And it's unlikely to then make a difference because they'd have to lose their other games on that game day in order for them to even have a chance at tying. But yeah, should the Crows win, they would then be tied on record if that's the first game of the day, and it's not, it's the final game of the day. So assuming that it's
almost like the schedule makers know.
If they're 2-0 going into the final game day, going into the final match, then that will be for the division title, which is pretty good.
I love that. I rate it.
Which is pretty good. So let's talk about
the South.
Yes, let's talk about the South before we do the where things stand. Let's go down south. So yeah, cross conference.
Clean sweep.
Smoke.
Great day out for them.
Clean sweep. Good day out. Also for the London Rebels, and good day out for the London Fire for reasons that will become very obvious in just a couple of minutes. Both of those two teams picked up forfeit wins over the Titans Blue, but the Fire also beat the Panther and the Phoenix. So did the Fire. So yes, Fire Rebels. Yeah. So both of them 3-0 on the day.
Trying to go into the last game day because both of them have a really tough final game day.
They do.
They've got the big 3 from the South. They've got the big 3 from their division. They've got Smoke, Sharks, and Devils. So hoping Sharks have been missing a couple of players the past couple of game days.
Yes, which did bite them, we may say, excuse the pun. So yes, Sharks slipped to, and on paper at least, shock 0-3. Obviously, later on, we learned a little bit more about the personnel problems that they had that game day. So they, lost to the Hurricanes, the Sharks, and the Neptunes. So that puts them outside the playoffs for the first time this year. The Rebels and the Fire have moved up. Obviously, the Titans have also moved down. So there was a big change kind of in that 11-12 channel for the playoffs. London Smoke, Imperious on that game day.
Canes were missing some people, didn't have all their starters and stuff. There's all these arguments, this, that, and the other. And as we said last time we recorded, how much do we look into this? But the Devils turned up and beat the Cardiff Hurricanes.
They did.
Which they done last year, to be fair.
They did do that last year.
But
by a point, by an extra point on the fight with 7 seconds to go as well.
Massive win for them. And then
immediately the following game,
the Cheltenham Neptunes
got them.
Ash Lewis decided to turn up against his GB comrades and
win a thriller.
Yeah, like great game again. But like that South game day, like you can't even call them upsets because all of them are such good teams. But like what it does to the seedings and how it's changed everything and wins and losses and it's just wild.
And it makes the final weekend. There's
so
many layers. There's so many layers to it, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So what it has done just now is, so Glasgow, London, Cardiff are all Manchester Titans. Are all top of their division. So they're the top 4 as it stands with a bye, which is all good. None of those seeds are locked, so they've all qualified for the playoffs, but they can. There could be movement within that group. So Glasgow are not locked into the number 1 seed just yet. Smoke are not locked into the number 2 seed just yet. Cardiff and Manchester are actually tied on record and are only 8 points apart in points difference, which is a difference, just absolutely incredible. Net points per game wise, that is a difference between 18.77 and 18.23. So how good is that? It's basically half a point a game in it. In the net points per game kind of standings. Below that, Edinburgh, who are the 5 seed, the Reading Devils are 11-3. They're at 6. We've got the Crows at 7, the Neptunes at 8, Oilcats at 9, Broncos at 10, Fire at 11, and Rebels at 12. So only down to the Neptunes have qualified, no questions asked. They are all already making up our national division next year. So below that, though, the Oilcats, Broncos, Fire, and Rebels all need to lock their spots in, while the Sharks, the Blackhawks, and the Salford Scorpions are all still looking to punch their ticket for the dance at the kind of expense, I guess, of somebody else.
That 9 to 12 spot is just like the Rebels, and like going by previous weeks, the Rebels and Fire, how they've played against the teams that they are coming up against in the last week of the season. Something big, especially for the Rebels, in my opinion. I'll be honest, I don't think Fire are going to be able to do it. I don't think they will. But Rebels, the way they've performed in the latter half of the season, there is a chance that they could do it. However, it depends who Sharks bring. It depends how Reading play. Like there's so many different variables, which is why we love and hate clinching scenarios. But I wouldn't be surprised if Fire drop out, and probably I'd say Newcastle or Sharks will squeak in.
So okay, right. Well, let's discuss what has to happen, right? So Oilcats, a win. Basically completely locks it in. If they match the Broncos results from the day, they'll be in, which is interesting because they play each other. But unless the Broncos tie somewhere else, they can't be tied on record. So even if the Broncos beat Aberdeen, if the Broncos lose a different game, so say both teams end the day 2-1, then Aberdeen will still be ahead. Aberdeen can also influence, in theory, the number 1 overall seed just by virtue of playing
The Hornets.
the Hornets. So the same with anyone that plays the Hornets on the final day, they will have a say in the top in how the number 1 seed plays out. Same with anyone that plays London. It would be a surprise if the number 1 seed is in play with the Hurricanes and the Manchester Titans, but I guess it is possible because all the top teams have 3 games left, so they could all, they could lose them all.
Yep.
So yeah, the number 1 seed is very much not locked in just yet.
Number 1 seed, coming from someone who is sitting in the number 1 seed, it's Hornets to lose at the minute. Like we've got,
it's absolutely Hornets to lose. Like there's no shot.
We've got
the smoke.
Final game day of the top 4, in my opinion.
There's no shot for the smoke to overhaul it. No realistic shot for the smoke to overhaul it on net points per game alone, because there's a 201 point difference. So if they did, fair play. Sorry to the Fire and the Rebels. So yeah, that's unlikely.
Glasgow going up against Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Chargers there as well. That sounded a lot harsher than it should have, sorry. Yeah, coming up against Edinburgh and Aberdeen, who are both needing wins. Oh, sorry, specifically Aberdeen, who are needing wins. Going into it is tougher. We have a tougher final week than anybody in my opinion.
Yeah. So with Aberdeen, their opener is the Colts game. So win that, they're in. After that, everything is just playing for seeding and pride, obviously. So moving further down, though, where it kind of starts to get a little bit exciting, the Sharks have head-to-heads over both the Rebels and the Fire at the moment. Unlikely to matter, because if they lose either of those games, they'll be so far out that they won't get back in. If they do win those games, yeah, they could be tied on record, in which case they'll have the double head-to-head, so it won't matter what the points difference is. So yeah, if they go 2-1, if the Sharks go 2-1, I'm pretty confident that they'll be in, and it's the same with the Fire and the Rebels. When they beat the Sharks, basically, and I have every confidence that you'll be in at 8 wins. Where it could get kind of funky is if something crazy happens from a team in the north, like Salford or Newcastle. But even so, the points difference is
significant.
It's significant that it's 60 points, it's 90 points over the Blackhawks and the Scorpions. Well, no, it's even more than that. It's almost 200 points for each of them over the Scorpions. So the Scorpions they can still make it. If we go right down to the bottom, so the Scorpions are 5-8. So first off, they need to win all 3 games to get to 8-8. If they do that, they would then need to overhaul the points difference, which is currently 224 points. Weirdly, just in terms of division standings, they hold the points difference over the Blackhawks. They don't play each other on the final day, so that's all done. If they end up tied on record, they will move above Newcastle.
And because they've got the head-to-head.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that they'll get in, but if they did end up tied, they would probably eliminate Newcastle by that. Again, they only have 2 games left. The Crows, the Bandits, I believe.
Okay.
So I'll double check that might be wrong, but they need to not only get to 8-8, they need to then essentially hope that the Sharks, Rebels, and Fire, all 3 of them are 8-8 or worse, and then need to overhaul the points difference, which is 91 points to the Fire, 57 points to the Rebels, but only 4 points to the Sharks. However, obviously, if the Sharks were to move up, if the Sharks were to move up, then they would also, their points difference would probably be better. So I'll be honest, it's very difficult to see a 7th North team make it. There's 3 South teams that are all playing each other, fighting for 2 spots.
Yeah.
Just because all of those teams can theoretically make it to 9 or 10 wins. So they're just so much more in the driver's seat there to make it into both the national and obviously like a fascinating kind of playoff day come September. So yeah, that's kind of the lay of the land as it stands in the Prem. So we're going to move to Division 1. Division 1 I have not done thoroughly. However, like I said before, if you are in the comments, if you are watching us on our YouTube audience this evening and you would like to ask a question or anything about one of your teams, please, say hello, give us a shout, and I'll do my best to work it out for you. But yeah, so the kind of the big news, I guess, was that the Cardiff Storm and Victoria Park Panthers, both previously undefeated, lost, which, as it stands, has cost them both a bye to the quarterfinal round. So they're going to have to play an extra game, at least, as it stands in the finals. And the Border City Centurions stand alone at the top of Division 1 as the only team with an unblemished record at 16 and 0.
Nick Weston has made a lot of people aware of that.
And he's he has indeed. He's very happy about it, as he should be.
So yeah,
for his team. Big deal for football in is that the northwest of England? Yeah, northwest. So yeah, big deal for them. In our game of the week, the Norwich Nomads took down the Leicester Huntsmen, so they have the stranglehold.
I was in DMs all day waiting for that result.
Yeah, so they have the stranglehold in the Midlands, also scoring an absolutely astronomical amount of points, and I think they have the best points difference in Division 1, despite the singular loss. Yeah, Renfrewshire Raptors are HNC comrades. They improved to 13-1, so they are the third seed, and the Mako Sharks currently round up that group that will get a bye to the quarterfinals. What's very interesting kind of at the moment is that we've got 5 teams all on 1 loss, all fighting for essentially 3 spots in the double bye, and their kind of net points per game ranges from 15 to 35, but yeah, it's all kind of mixed up. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And we'll see how it goes. So below that, we've got the Storm, the Panthers, the Titans, Bees, and the Leicester Huntsmen. That's very important because they are the group, as it stands, that are getting automatic promotion to the second tier next year, which is currently being called the Premiership. So we've got National Premiership. I don't really know what the third tier is going to be called. Division 1 at the moment, we'll call it for now. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so the top 8 are obviously going straight through to promotion. So yeah, Huntsmen, Bees, Panthers, Storm, Sharks, Raptors, Nomads, and Centurions make up quite an intriguing little Premiership division there. And yeah, we will wait and see how things go. The next group of teams are the Mustangs, Badgers, Diablos, Serpents, Revs, Falcons, Bucks, Wolves, and Gwent Gators. And my start of the season prediction, Cammy, that you'll need to be better than 66%, 66 recurring to make the Premiership is almost right. The Gwent Gators are currently the final seed. They're the 16th seed, and they are on 66 exactly. Everyone else is above 70%.
You're okay at this. We make
keep me going. Yeah, we have the 16 seed is the Gators. They're on 66.7. The Titans White are on the outside looking in by 1 spot. They're on 66.7. We've then got the Warthogs on 65%. We've got Murray on 64%. We've got the Bombers on 62 and the Longhorns Black on 60. So that kind of makes up our group. So we're going to have a solid group, I think, of teams that are maybe at above 60% that don't make it. That's the way it is. 54-team division. Making the playoff should always be hard. I think we're going to get a good split as we head in, kind of towards the playoffs and finals. And Div 1 Sunday, as always, should be absolutely electric. So very excited for that. But yeah, we can go through the kind of Div 1 results, but
there's so much still open in Div 1.
Yes. So, oh, that's a good thing. So, like, in terms of like who is absolutely locked in. So, Centurions, Nomads, Raptors, Tiger Sharks, Storm, VPP, and Leicester Huntsmen are currently going to Manchester. Book your hotels. We say book your hotel. You book your hotel, right? You guys are locked in. Titans, Bees, Mustangs, Honey Badgers, Diablos, Serpents, Revs, Falcons, Bucks, Wolves, and Gators are all in a playoff spot, as we said, but have not yet clinched. And then, the following up teams there, the White, the Warthogs, the Distillers, and the Bombers, I think can all still make it. Longhorns Black, I think, can as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't got my notes handy on who can actually make it. But yes, next week we will release a blog post. And obviously we'll talk about it on next week's show with as full a scenario as I can think of. Much like last year, we'll probably do that in collaboration with our good friends at Inside Britball. Sorry, I do that every time. Sorry, Andy. And yeah, we'll make sure that you guys are all up to date with what you need to do on the final day of the season. It's going to be pretty intense. The Premiership games are all on the same day. Every single one takes place on the Saturday, and then obviously Division 1 is split across Saturdays and Sundays, but we'll do our best to bring you everything we can as and when they come in, and obviously we will feed them all in to HQ. We will feed the spreadsheet, and we'll see what it spits out, and we'll be ready to rock and roll with quite a large gap. Is that a six-week gap? I mean, luckily, in the middle of it, there's the World Games, so we're not going to be like starved of football.
It's like, my flag football calendar has been bang, like, and then you've got finals, then you've got Euros, and then you've got Champions Bowl, and then Winter League starts. So there goes the off season,
Off season, Flag of New Year, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of? Pre-season, this season.
Yeah. This weekend, we've actually got a youth game day, final youth game day in Scotland. Well, potentially, should be. My young Hornets could clinch the number 2 seed in the UK to get their spot in finals. But much similar to Div 1, it's all still wide open. We could drop down to at least 8th, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. Youth football is a barrel of fish that not even I can understand, and I'm a coach.
So with the youth game days, do they all happen on the same day, or is it just like it's just tournaments, right?
It's a lot more. No. We changed it. So last year it was tournaments, and so you had a tournament in X amount of locations and stuff. And if you done well enough in your tournament, you got X amount of kind of like the coefficient points for like what we consider for the Olympics and stuff. However, this year we changed it to a league structure, and they're a lot more lenient than we are, which is something as a Hornet I really struggle to comprehend at times, that we are very lenient with letting games slide and rearranging them and stuff. Youth. We have our final game against the number 2 seed in Scotland at the minute. So if we beat them, then we get the number 2 seed in the UK, and we go down quite comfortably to finals.
Nice.
Be good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, nice. I literally, as I've said before, I have no idea. And I'm glad you're here because I have no idea what's going on with the youth. I get my youth fix once a year in September, when there's just absolute bedlam for a day or 12 hours of just chaos, and then don't really see them again. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see that. Just last off before we go, we did have a bit of a question from Ewan on YouTube. Ewan, Mustangs, if we win all 3 remaining games, we can only clinch the 8th seed and a bye if the Huntsmen drop the game, but if the Huntsmen win all 3, the highest the Mustangs can be is the 9 seed. Yeah, so you're unlikely to tie based on kind of out-and-out record because you'll have played different number of games. Currently, your net points per game difference between Mustangs and Huntsmen is 21 points per game, which adds up to in favor of the Huntsmen, which adds up to about 200 points ish, kind of just in pure numbers. So yeah, if you can have the 8th seed and a bye if you win all your games and also better the Huntsmen's record on the day. Essentially, you need them to drop. So they're on 8.7%. Mustangs are on 84.6%. So if they drop a game, you would slide above them, assuming that your record maintains your basically win out and you should be fine. But if they are in control of their destiny for the final playoff seed, final playoff bye, sorry, between 8 and 9. So I guess you can keep your beady eyes on the results as they come in from the Midlands. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, thanks for being with us, Ian.
Yubo.
Friend
of the show.
Yes,
I'm assuming it is Ewan McLean.
It is, yes. And that I think will bring us rather tidily to the end of the show. So next week we will be back. It will be a proper down the line, this is what needs to happen kind of episode this weekend. This is what we think might happen. I'm very hopeful that we're going to have at least one of our hosts back so that we can play a very exciting game that I've had in my pocket for a little while. But it does need a trio, so there'll be a potential new segment dropping for you next week. But thank you to all of the friends of the show that have joined us on the live chat this evening. It's been lovely to have you. Thank you to all the friends of the show that listen to us every week on whichever podcast platform they do choose. And thank you, Cammy Wilson, for joining me for a natter about flag football this evening.
Pleasure as always, Biz, and thank you kindly for I don't know, whatever you do.
Whatever happens. Yeah. Thanks, guys. That's all we have time for this evening. Have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic weekend when it comes. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you on a flag pitch very soon. It is goodbye from Cammy.
Goodbye.
And it is goodbye from me. Thank you very much for listening. That is the way we HNC it.